Alrighty, everyone, welcome to the second installment. Or sorry, it's actually the third installment. Red Sox pre-series preview. Red Sox have gone through two series so far in the 2022 campaign against the Yankees and the Tigers. And this is going to be their second straight series against an AL Central opponent, this time being the Minnesota Twins, and this time being back at Fenway for a four-game set beginning tomorrow and ending on Marathon Monday here in Boston. So, joining me to do this recap, we just actually got done recording the post-series recap for the Tigers, but Brady's joining me again. My co-host Brady. I'm David, by the way. Brady, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful,
I haven't
especially
seen you in
because
forever.
I haven't seen you in forever as well. I just got a notification that Mike Trout just hit a 472-foot home run.
I got that as well.
This is the greatest player in baseball that we'll ever watch.
I agree. So just
Bobby Witt Jr.
So we're just going to talk all things
Bust.
Red Sox Twins for these next four games. Before we get into any specifics of matchups and all that jazz, just let's take a quick look at how the Twins are doing. Twins are 2-4 so far this year. They lost 2-3 to the Mariners in their opening series, and they're just getting off of a series. Sorry, they are 2-3. Yes. Okay. So 0-1, 0-2. They're 2-4. Excuse me. Sorry, my fault.
Pick a damn record for them.
They got swept by the Dodgers and they lost three of they split with the Mariners in a four-game set. Okay, my mistake. So they are 2-4. They have not won a series yet this year. Just general takeaways, Brady, about the Minnesota Twins as a team, how you think they'll do this year. Just what impression did they give off to you?
See, I've always had faith in a lot of the Minnesota Twins guys. Like, I'm a big Byron Buxton fan. I really like him. And now that they brought in Carlos Correa, I think they're going to be a strong team in the AL Central that's known for not being the greatest. But also, I feel like the Red Sox are stronger. And I feel like this is a team that we've built up that obviously we're 3-3. We have a better record than them by one game. But I feel like the Red Sox are, again, the stronger team. And I don't know really what the Twins have for pitching. I'm pretty sure they lost Jose Barrios, but other than that, I have no idea who any of their pitchers are, and I feel like that's going to be something that the Red Sox that could be something they hold over the Twins. Is we have decent pitching, and it's not good on a major league standpoint. It's good in comparison to the Twins pitching.
So just tackling the lineup, which you kind of covered upon too. You have someone like Byron Buxton who had trouble staying healthy, and the Minnesota Twins are hoping that he stays healthy this upcoming season. And as you talked about, their big offseason acquisition, Carlos Correa, excellent shortstop for the Houston Astros for many, many years. And he's just going to continue to do the same in Minnesota, you imagine, as he's one of the top players in the game. Him, Polanco, Sanchez, Max Kepler, Miguel Sano, they can all hit for power. You have people like Gio Urshela, who's a respectable guy. Luis Arias, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name, but he can hit for average.
You got Gary Sanchez too. He can be strong some nights and then bat 140 the next night.
Right. So there's some heavy hitters on this team, and it certainly worries me with a team like the Red Sox facing a heavy hitting team like Minnesota, because the Red Sox have been hit hard by the home run ball to begin this year. So I think that's something to worry about. But again, this is a team struggled last season. A lot of unknown, if you will. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing, but they don't necessarily scare me, but they're not going to go down easy if you ask me.
Yeah, and I have our starters for the first game. We got Nick Pivetta for the Red Sox, and we got Joe Ryan for the visiting Twins. They're both 0-1. Joe Ryan has a 4.50 ERA, and Nick Pivetta has a 6.35. So this could be risky for a pitching matchup. I completely forgot they had Joe Ryan, and I think he's solid, but I think Pivetta is just that good amount better.
This I keep on saying this in every pre-series preview we do, but I feel like every game, or there's at least one game in every series so far where it has the potential to be an offensive shootout. Maybe this one could be the one. I mean, Pavetta, that ERA is a little misleading because the New York start, he just had the two bad home runs that he gave up to Rizzo and Stanton. It was only two swings that won the game for the Yankees.
It was, yeah.
Other than that, he was cruising through. So Pivetta had a better outing than the stats will show you. But someone like Ryan, who trying to do something, he was originally drafted by Tampa. He had a heck of a spring training. I mean, he was only two starts, but he allowed no runs to spring training for Minnesota. Maybe he can develop into something for Minnesota. They hope he can, but this could be an offensive shootout, or you could look at someone like Pavetta rebounding. But again, Ryan isn't a name, no disrespect to him or anyone on the pitching staff for the Twins, which we'll get into. But Ryan isn't a name that like jumps out to me that the Red Sox offense should be scared by. I think we can
Not
go
a
to
name
town
that
on
we
this
should
guy.
entirely be worried about.
I think we can go to town on him.
Yeah, but also you have to remember that the Red Sox have had some trouble getting the bats off their shoulders in these early games. And this could be a game that slips past us that I'm kind of worried about it. But then again, I still think the Red Sox are the stronger team in this one.
Yeah, so I would agree with that. I think that's an excellent X factor that you brought up is, were these last couple of games with the Sox a fluke offensively where they finally woke up and, were 14 runs in the last two games? Or do we just fall flat again? Because, Nick Pavetta can only do so much. Nick Pavetta can't really win you a game. It's going to be the offense that has to win this game. And you hope Nick Pavetta can put together another good outing, but it'll all come down to, can the offense do its thing again?
And that I really hope they do. I think that, again, our bats are going to be strong. I think that we're getting out of our funk that we had in the beginning two game series. I think that we're going to see some final offense production from guys like Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers. We're getting into a form. We're getting into a groove of things. We're going to see something from Trevor Story, something from JD Martinez. We're going to see more performance from the guys that have yet to prove themselves this year. And one of the guys that I think exemplifies that perfectly is Alex Verdugo. Alex Verdugo was offensively pretty good last year. He was more of a defensive guy, and I will say that. But I think that his bat needs to come off his shoulder a bit more, and I think that's what he's going to do in this series. He's going to, again, further prove himself in the offensive category for the year 2022.
So the pitching matchup in the second game of the series is Sonny Gray versus Tanner Houck.
Father
Gray,
Houck.
Gray, 0-0 this year so far, but he has a 3.86 ERA. Gray
Tanner
spent
Houck with a 0-0 as well and an 8.10 ERA.
Sonny Gray spent the last three seasons with Cincinnati before this, and in 2019 and the short 2020 season, he put together solid campaigns, but last year really struggled. So he's looking to rekindle some of that Sonny Gray magic, if you will, this season with Minnesota. Do you want to take the Houck scouting report?
Yeah, so Houck obviously has an 8.1 ERA, but that's only because he had a struggle with the Yankee series. I think every Red Sox player did. Last year he was a 4-5 with a 3.12 ERA over 89.1 innings pitched. I think, and everybody, it's come to be sort of the consensus between Red Sox fans that Tanner Houck is a nasty pitcher, and we're going to see some of his better stuff in this series. He's facing batters that he knows can mash, and he knows that it's not the Yankees, so he's going to be a bit more free with what he throws. Of course, it's Red Sox, Yankees. You don't want to lose a game to the Yankees if you're a member of the Red Sox. And obviously, you got to take every game the same, but he knows that it's not going to be as big of a game to lose, and he knows he's going to be able to throw some stuff he wouldn't usually throw.
This game particularly seems tricky to me for the Red Sox in this series because this game may come to a point where the deciding factor is Gray outlasting Houck, or can Houck go deep into this game? Because the whole thing with Cora and Houck and the relationship is Cora still has yet to give Houck the keys. Houck only went through the order pretty much two times every time he started last season. He never went through the order a third time. Granted, no pitcher these days really goes through the order a third time because of analytics and all that stuff. But point is, we can't have Houck go 3 1/3 innings again like he just did against New York this past Sunday. We need him to go a little bit deeper. because if he can't and he gets hit around or he throws too many pitches early and Core has to pull him, this is just a double whammy because, in my opinion, Sonny Gray, many years as a starter now, can easily outlast Houck if he wants to. And he's a very serviceable guy, respectable ERA for most of his career. And B, if the Red Sox have to turn to the bullpen early in a game once again, I don't think that's ever going to turn out well. That never works out well, unless it's Garrett Whitlock coming out of the pen.
Yeah, but also you have to remember that Tanner Houck struggled to perform against the Yankees. He had an 8.1 ERA. That's obviously you're going to take a guy out when he lets up 8 runs in 3 1/3 innings. But Tanner Houck just needs to be able to perform at a higher, I don't want to say a higher level, but at a higher, with more endurance. And that's what we should see out of Houck, obviously. He's the third in the rotation, and he could honestly work his way up to probably second by the end of the year. But
Well, my point is just I want Houck to go at least 5 innings.
oh,
That's all.
that's what I'm trying to get at here. He just needs to be able to have that endurance to be able to throw the same stuff later in the game, even up to getting maybe even 6 innings in. Tauk is young. He has that sort of longevity. He's just struggling to use it, and I don't know what we're going to do for that.
So if you ask me, this could be a true test for the Red Sox in this upcoming series. This would be the game on Saturday. We head to the third game of this set between
Pitching,
you go.
pitching. Oh, yeah, I was just going to give you the pitching matchup. We got Bailey Ober for the Twins, and we got Michael Wacha for the Red Sox. Michael Wacha performed not the worst, but also not the greatest on Monday with the game against the Tigers. He got pulled, in my opinion, early because it was, I believe, still a
Four and a
1-1
third.
tie. I believe it was still a 1-1 tie. If it wasn't, it was 1-0. But I feel like Waka is one of those guys that has that kind of endurance that is going to be throwing later into the game, and he could end up pitching the full 5 innings like you want him to. That's one of those guys that I personally think is going to be the stronger pitcher here. Obviously, Ober's record has that different, but look at their ERAs. You got Ober with 7.2, and you got Michael Wacha with a 2.08. So I think Wacha is obviously the stronger guy here, and I think that he could go pretty far in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Waka, like you said, went four and a third in his last start in Detroit. All right, 1 earned run. But again, this is a guy back into the rotation, someone who we need to eat up innings, especially in these first couple of months to begin the year with someone like Chris Sale being hurt. Everyone who can potentially step up to the plate or step up to the mound, I guess I should say, needs to step up.
You're using terminology that usually doesn't refer to baseball to refer to baseball, and it somehow makes it incorrect.
So, right. But, my point being, of course, as everyone understands, people need to step up in Chris Sale's absence, at least until he comes back. Walker, someone at the end of the rotation, need him to eat innings. We need him to go at least 5, just like I talked about with Houck. Got to lower, he's got to get control of his, have good control too. He gave 3 walks against Detroit. That's a no-no. So I think this is a good game, like you said, for Waka to get on track because both these pitchers, aren't amazing. But sure, I'd give the edge to Waka. I think the Red Sox offense can go to town on a guy like Ober, who 1-0 with a 7.2 ERA this year, like you talked about. But 29 starts last year, he had a 4.19 ERA. So the career stats aren't favorable for Ober. And I think our offense can really take advantage of that. So if we want to win this game and if Waka wants to put together a quality start, he has the opportunity right here. It's just all going to come down to it actually happening.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, Walker has the longevity. He has the endurance. He's able to do that sort of longer game, and I feel like he could pull something like that off, depending on what Cora has decided for him during the game. Obviously, I think Walker has the power to. It's just whether or not he is forced into it or not.
You want to give us the pitching matchup for the fourth game if you have it?
Yeah, Twins at Red Sox. It's an early morning game. I believe this is Monday morning. Why would they do that? We've got Dylan Bundy for the Twins, and then we got Rich Hill for the Red Sox. Rich Hill, he's old. We're just gonna say it there. He didn't. He's one of those guys that truly does not have the capability to have that endurance that I was talking about. Dylan Bundy, on the other hand, he's not the youngest player, but he does have that sort of longevity, and he's currently at a 0 ERA. So, I mean, if you shut out your first bout as a pitcher, that's pretty solid. But
Yeah, I mean, none of these names on the Twins pitching staff, again, all respect to the Minnesota Twins, all of them are better
sure,
than I ever will be as a baseball player, or let alone as a pitcher. But Bundy is just another guy who just has not had the most amazing career this season. As you said, yeah, it's off to a good start in his one start, but his only good season of his career was in 2020, the shortened season with the LA Angels. Last year with Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, he had a 6.06 ERA in 23 appearances, 19 of them being starts. Rich Hill, 6.23 ERA, rough first start, but I don't really blame Tuesday too much on him. He was cruising before that third inning. And, as we talked about in our post series recap, our Royals defense and right field that game didn't really help Rich Hill's matters. And he was cruising before then. But this is just another game where you talked about it too, where Rich Hill's at this point in his career where 42 years old, we don't need to expect the world out of him. Rich Hill, just give us 5 innings, and we're going to see Garrett Whitlock pitch in this game most likely because, as we talked about also in the post-series recap, Hill and Whitlock will piggyback off each other in games when those two are available to pitch, as Cora talked about at the end of spring training.
I want to see him on Wednesday.
So as long as Hill can give us 5 quality innings, I feel very confident Whitlock being able to get another 4 inning win or just pitch 4 innings of shutdown out of the pen. So this is, I would, all in all, if you ask me, 3 of the 4 of these games are very favorable for Boston.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then we don't have to face their ace once this series, and they don't have to face ours, which is a benefit, but also a struggle because obviously we want to see Nasty Nate doing what he does best, but also we don't want to have to face their ace, which I have even no idea who that even is. Let me just look into that.
So you would say that that's also like an advantage and a disadvantage because we'll get into this stuff where like we don't have to face their ace, they don't have to face our ace. So it's a pro and a con if you look at it for either side.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. What I was trying to say. Let me find out who there. Is it Chris Archer?
Could
No,
be. I mean,
I don't think he's a starter.
no,
Um,
he started for them against the Dodgers this past Tuesday.
Maybe. I'll just Google it.
So while you're Googling that, like we did the last time we did a series recap, we'll just talk about advantages, disadvantages, X factors, series predictions. I think advantages for both sides is their offenses. I think both offenses have a lot of pop. Red Sox notoriously known for having great offense and subpar pitching. At least that's just how the story of this franchise has been the last few years. And as we talked about at the beginning of this video, Twins have a lot of pop in their lineup, and they have people who can hit for average too.
So I was very wrong. Chris Archer is actually fifth in the rotation. Joe Ryan is their ace. And
Oh,
then they've got Chris Paddock at the end of the rotation after Archer, and then they have Kenta Maeda and Randy Dobnak at 60-day IL.
okay. Disadvantages for both sides. There's a lot of this could be a disadvantage and an X factor. I mean, a disadvantage for the Red Sox is obviously a depleted bullpen. Garrett Whitlock and Jake Diekman, I mean, have had highlight reel. I shouldn't say highlight reel. Maybe that's an embellishment, but you know what? Actually, Garrett Whitlock's 4 innings of relief, no hits. That's highlight reel worthy relief appearance. Diekman
Yeah,
out of the pen against the Yankees was great.
I also think that Cutter Crawford's finding his spot in the not in the rotation, but the bullpen. And obviously, Red Sox fans working on a nickname for him. That should be exciting to see the Cutter Crawford show in Boston. It's exciting.
Disadvantage for the Twins. I mean, maybe they're starting pitching. I don't really, again, no household names, not the best career statistics.
Other
That's
than maybe Sonny Gray, but he's
Sonny Gray,
doing
right? He's always been serviceable, give or take a few bad years. I remember back when he was with Oakland, he was like a very prized player for sure. Uh, Worked his way from being a prospect into a solid pitcher for Oakland, but that was way back when. What do you think are some X factors in this series that could swing how this series goes in one way or another?
It's gonna be performance from our outfield. I think guys like Kike Hernandez, Alex Verdugo, and JBJ. Obviously, we know JBJ isn't the strongest performer at the plate, but guys like Kike and Alex Verdugo really need to step up and use their bats. Other than making highlight reel plays in the outfield, which every one of our outfielders does, we have. I would even go as far as to saying we have a top three, maybe even top two defensive outfield in the major leagues, and uh we need to see more offensive performance from them. And again, we can't expect too much from JBJ, but it's really going to come down to Kike and and Alex Verdugo.
Yeah, I think an X factor could be just sticking on the JBJ topic. Obviously, doesn't need to be said, but I'll keep saying it. We all know what he can do defensively at any outfield position, but can he build off something that he was starting to create in Detroit, where he got a 3 RBI game this past or next Wednesday, yesterday? Can he build off of that? And like you said, just not be amazing, but can he hit 220 at the plate? Can he hit 240 at the plate? Like,
Can he
can he
hit 200?
200? Definitely not 163 or whatever it was again, 167 like he did last year for Milwaukee. But we need someone, and I talked about this in the last pre-series preview with Ian, where bottom three of the order, you look at a Dahlback, a Vasquez, I mean, JBJ, they've had their struggles. They're not the most consistent at the plates in their career. We
Sorry
need
to
people to,
interrupt,
yeah,
but he hit 130. He's hitting 133 this year. 15 at bats, 3 RBIs. This man is not great. He has a 455 OPS. There you go.
yeah. So we just need to get some production from the back end of the lineup. That's my X factor for me because we need some people to take the pressure off of our top six, which is incredible. But you need the Vasquez's and the Bobby Dahlbacks and the JBJs of the world to do something.
Yeah, and I think we could see some strength in them this series. Now, if we're going on to X factors for the Twins, um, I don't really watch Twins baseball,
Me
but
neither.
again, it's I feel like the general consensus from this is it's gonna be their starters. It's gonna be whether they can throw the 5 innings if they're gonna want to, whether they have that endurance, that longevity, and it's gonna be whether they can actually perform because again, these guys aren't household names. They're not the Twins don't have the strongest rotation, and that's going to be one of their weaker spots. But if that rotation performs, then it could be a nice matchup between the Red Sox and the Twins.
So what's your series prediction here?
I don't have a sweeping because I think that's blasphemy. But I have we could take three. I think we could take three. I'll give the Twins the benefit in the doubt, and I'll say we'll split the series. I'll have the Red Sox taking game 1 and game 3, and I'll have the Twins taking 2 and 4.
All right, Brady, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to be a little bit more bold. I think the Red Sox are going to take 3 or 4 in the series.
See, I wouldn't be surprised by that, but I feel like we could see something out of guys like Sonny Gray and Joe Ryan. But um, it's again, it all's going to come down to pitching, and if the Twins can put together a good day from their pitchers, then they're going to have some form of advantage in this one
Yeah, I
because we keep discrediting their pitching, and if they have a good day and we're all wrong, that would suck.
Yeah, I think Pavetta can get the better of Joe Ryan tomorrow. So I think the Red Sox are going to take game one. Game two of this series, I think we're going to lose, as I think Sonny Gray is just going to outlast Howe can put together a solid outing. Game three, I think we can do enough offensively. Maybe this one's a squeaker between Ober and Waka, but I think we can just dominate Ober and dominate the Minnesota Twins pitching to win game three. And game four, I think we'll win another nail biter like the Detroit one was when Whitlock had to come in and pitch 4 innings. But this formula of, Rich Hill pitching 5 innings and Garrett Whitlock pitching 4 innings, as long as we have the lead, call me crazy, but it's chef's kiss. It's just so good. So I think we can take 3 or 4, honestly. And I'll be a little bold. Why not?
And that prediction is entirely acceptable. And you might have even convinced me to make my prediction into Red Sox take 3 of 4. But I'll stick with my 2 of 4 because I want to give the Twins some credit. They're 2-4 right now, and I don't think we should totally discredit them.
Absolutely. No, always respect your opponent. But if we're looking at series where the Red Sox can, get
Unless your opponent's Ryan Brazier. Sorry.
this is going to be a tradition. Every time we record, you're going to drop a Ryan Brazier mention.
I will not stop.
I think that this is a good series, though, where the Red Sox can get the ball rolling if they really want to. I'm not saying, Red Sox are for real if they take 3 or 4. You don't know how this team or what this team is capable of until the end of April. That's how it goes every year in baseball. After, you play a month's worth of games, then you can determine, okay, what this team is capable of and what they can do. But again, if the Red Sox are able to win this series, a 4-game set against Minnesota, start the home stand or start the home campaign at Fenway in 2022 off on a good note, that speaks a lot. It speaks in volumes in certain ways, but I'd be happy about it for sure. Would I draw a ton of conclusions from it? Probably not, but it's something to get the ball rolling, get some wins, and then just keep staying the course.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting series, and I can't wait to watch as much of it as I can.
So, any final general takeaways before we wrap this up?
Other than screw Ryan Brazier, no, not today.
On that note, alrighty, this has been pre-series preview number 3. Red Sox are getting ready to go up against Minnesota tomorrow. Friday through Monday, the series will happen. I think Friday 2:10, Saturday 4:10, Sunday, is that a 4:10 game as well?
135.
Sunday is 1:35, and then
Monday's 11:10.
11:10. Yep, the Marathon Monday 11 a.m. game. A tradition in Boston.
My plan is to call the game tomorrow. I'm not certain yet on my plans for Sunday, but I might call that game as well. But as of right now, let's just look forward to tomorrow.
Should be a good series. Looking forward to it. Alrighty, everyone. That's going to do it for this recap. Alongside Brady, I'm David. Keep on the lookout for more content. I'll be posting a short every day. We'll keep doing these pre-series previews and these post-series recaps every so often. Podcasts every month. We're putting out content for you guys every day. Follow us on Instagram too at bsml.redsox. Follow our main page, Boston Sports Media Live, where we will be covering not only the Red Sox, but also the Celtics, Patriots, and Bruins in the coming months. So much exciting content for all
Follow our
you guys.
personal pages. You won't.
We can maybe link those somewhere. If you want to follow Brady, go for it. Brady does a heck of a job in many different facets of sports media and broadcasting. But that is going to do it for us today. Hope you all guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the Red Sox Twins series, and we'll talk to you after the series is over. Take care.